You were not born limited, you were trained to stay small, and somewhere along the path, you believed them. The teachers who said, stay realistic. The friends who laughed when you dreamed out loud. The voice in your head that echoes their doubt. You believed it. That belief became your prison, and the worst part, you started decorating it, made it comfortable, called it your truth. But today, we tear down the walls, because what Napoleon Hill discovered wasn't just a formula for wealth, it was a system to rebuild identity from the root, from the subconscious. Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. You've heard the quote, but did you ever question, what does your mind believe about you? There's a battle happening beneath your skin, not outside you, inside, between the version of you that was programmed and the one you're meant to become. That programmed version, he wakes up tired. She hesitates before action. They scroll more than they build, and every day that version wins. You lose time you can never get back, because this war isn't loud. It's quiet. It looks like procrastination. Sounds like I'll start next week. Feels like fear dressed up as logic. But Napoleon Hill had a secret, a trick so powerful it recoded his identity, and the world's greatest minds used it like a weapon. Here's the truth. Your conscious mind is the gatekeeper, but the subconscious is the vault. And most people, they're trying to fix their life with surface-level affirmations while their subconscious is still running old code. It's like painting over a broken wall. It looks new, but underneath, still cracked. Hill's genius wasn't in motivation. It was in mental reprogramming. He didn't just write goals. He imprinted identity. He watched Andrew Carnegie move like a man who'd already won. He studied Ford, who built cars with no formal education. He walked with Edison, who failed 10,000 times and called it progress. These men didn't ask how. They said it's done, then moved like it. Hill realized the trick wasn't just in working hard, it was in working from a new self-image, one forged through repetition, spoken in silence, until belief became reality. Look deeper. Every result in your life is the echo of an inner belief. Money, identity. Health, identity. Relationships, identity. And here's the code. You don't get what you want. You get what you believe you deserve. That's the trick. That's the trap. Because most people believe just enough to stay alive, but not enough to build a legacy. Let me remind you, you are not a drop in the ocean. You are the ocean in a drop. Stop shrinking your worth to match their comfort. Stop dimming your fire so others don't feel the heat. You weren't meant to blend in. You were meant to burn so bright, they have to squint. But here's the problem. You've been using an old operating system, thoughts recycled, beliefs inherited, identity borrowed, and you're wondering why the results look like everyone else's. So what's the reset? You stop operating from memory, and you start operating from vision, from design, from creation, from who you decide to be. Hill said it best. You are the master of your fate, the captain of your soul. But most people, they handed over the wheel years ago to fear, to doubt, to other people's voices. Now it's time to take it back. Right now, you can make the most important decision of your life. Not what you want to have, not what you want to do, but who you are willing to become, and becoming isn't an accident. It's a process, a deliberate, repeated act of alignment. You speak it, you walk it, you own it before anyone claps for you. Because here's the secret. Nobody will believe in you until you do. And the moment you do, the world will rearrange to reflect it. From this day forward, you no longer operate from hesitation. You no longer ask for permission. You no longer wait for proof to believe. You become the proof. Your subconscious doesn't care if it's true. It just obeys what's repeated. So feed it the truth you want to see. Speak it like a ritual. Act like it's done. Walk like the fortune is already yours. This is not motivation. This is reprogramming. This is the reset. Your subconscious doesn't care what's real. It obeys what's repeated. That's not philosophy. That's a system. And Napoleon Hill mastered it. Not with hype, not with luck, but with the science of identity construction. You're not stuck. You're just running a program you never wrote. And now it's time to rewrite the code. Understand this. Your conscious mind thinks, but your subconscious executes. It stores the commands. It repeats the patterns. It creates the reality, like a computer. It doesn't care if the input is truth or lies. It just follows the script. So if you say, "I'm always broke," "I'm never consistent," "I can't focus," it doesn't argue. It just obeys. Now imagine feeding it power every day until the echo becomes your environment. Napoleon Hill called it autosuggestion, not affirmation, autosuggestion. The daily, deliberate feeding of identity into your subconscious, with emotion, with repetition, with conviction. It's not about yelling into a mirror. It's about building a feedback loop that feeds your future self. I am the architect of my mind. I build only what I believe I deserve. That sentence alone, repeated daily with fire, becomes software, becomes action, becomes truth. Hill learned this from giants. He sat with Carnegie, who said, "Plant an idea deep enough, repeat it long enough, and the world must submit." He studied Edison, who said, "I failed 10,000 times and never doubted once." He watched Henry Ford speak of flying machines, while everyone else still walked. They weren't lucky. They were programmed, and they did it on purpose. Start doing this. Every single morning, speak yourself into existence. Not what you feel, not what you fear, what you decide. I am laser focused. I follow through. I command my reality. I attract and act like the highest version of myself. The first time it feels fake. The second time it feels weird. The 10th time it starts sinking in. And by day 30, it starts moving without you thinking. The wealthiest men in Hill's circle didn't just work. They recited. They built identity before they built the product. Because the true business isn't money, it's belief. You don't build a fortune from strategy. You build it from self-certainty. Repeat it. My subconscious is listening. So I only speak power. Say it with clarity, every single day, until doubt gets drowned in repetition. Your subconscious doesn't forget. It archives everything, every excuse, every hesitation, every time you say "I can't." So you better start flooding it, not with noise, with truth, the truth of who you've decided to become, not someday. Today, speak it, back it, reinforce it, because the longer you stay silent, the more your past keeps writing your future. Napoleon Hill didn't find himself. He constructed himself brick by brick, word by word, thought by thought. He didn't wait for belief. He created belief by commanding his mind until his world aligned. So stop searching, start sculpting. Here's how you begin. Step 1, wake up and declare, not beg. I'm already becoming. I move like it. Step 2, write 5 identity commands. I follow through. I lead with certainty. I attract high-performance environments. I trust myself completely. I execute under pressure. Step 3, say each line 10 times with your full chest, out loud, like a warrior preparing for battle. Do this for 90 days. Your life will not look the same. Every moment is a deposit. You're either feeding the future or funding your failure. There is no neutral. There is no off. The question is, who's holding the keyboard? If it's not you, then who wrote the code you're living? Your job now. Take the pen back. Write your name in fire. There is no halfway. Not in transformation. Not in destiny. You can't serve 2 identities. One must die. The old you isn't bad, but it's done. And the longer you drag it behind you, the heavier your future becomes. Napoleon Hill didn't write Think and Grow Rich as a book. He wrote it as a contract with himself, with his mind, with the world. He didn't hope it would work. He decided. That's the first law of mental greatness. Final decision kills confusion. You're either becoming the one or delaying the day. Let me make it plain. If you leave a way back, you'll take it. If you leave an excuse, you'll use it. If you don't cut off the old identity, it will crawl back in the dark and run your mind like a ghost. History doesn't reward the halfway committed. It glorifies the obsessed, the all-in, the no plan B. So ask yourself this: what bridge still exists in your life? That gives the past a path to return, and now set it on fire. When Cortez landed in the New World, he ordered his ships burned. Why? Because men fight harder when there's no going home. That's the kind of pressure that produces diamonds. Napoleon Hill called it definiteness of purpose, but it's more than clarity. It's an inner vow, a soul decision, made so deeply that no excuse could ever speak louder than your will. You're not figuring it out. You're either feeding your higher self or reinforcing the lower one. You're either moving forward with fire or slipping backward in silence. That's why Hill said, "A man who procrastinates in his choosing will inevitably have his choice made for him by circumstance." So what are you choosing today? Power or permission? Be honest, because only one builds a new reality. Think of the thing that's keeping you safe, that safety net, that maybe one-day job, that fallback plan you tell yourself is smart. Now hear this, that's the leash around your potential. The mind won't commit to building a bridge. If it knows there's a boat back to the island, burn the boat. Not because you hate safety, but because you love your destiny more. Decision isn't a moment, it's a movement. It's not saying I'm in once, it's saying I'm still in. When everything tries to shake you loose, because the world will test it, the storm will come. And when it does, only those who've already decided will still be standing. Say it now. I've already decided. Say it again. I don't negotiate with my old self. Say it one more time. This is the identity I chose. I walk like it's permanent. Every time you feel fear, repeat. Every time you feel hesitation, repeat. Every time you feel like pausing, repeat. This is your decision loop. Burn it into your wiring. When you go all in, people feel it. Doors open, mentors appear, resources multiply. Not because of magic, because of clarity. Most people never win, because they're still trying. You're not trying, you're becoming, and becoming demands blood. Napoleon Hill made a decision that shook generations, not because he was the smartest, but because he didn't flinch. He gave himself to the process, fully, relentlessly, publicly. He dared to say, "This will work, because I will not stop until it does." Now it's your turn to say the same. Here's how you live in total commitment. Write your identity on paper. Yenad finisher. I am a finisher. I dominate discipline. Decide it's already true, not when you see results. Now, act like it's law. Every move, every word, every step must reflect the identity already chosen. Say it daily. I've already decided. It's not a mantra, it's a command. This is the real question. Which version of you survives tonight? The hesitator or the executor? The one who almost changed or the one who burned the bridge and walked through fire? You cannot serve two identities. One must die, and from its ashes, you rise. Energy is contagious, so is doubt, so is fear, so is mediocrity. You don't just inherit identity from your thoughts, you inherit it from your environment. There is no self-made man. Napoleon Hill knew it. Carnegie demanded it. Hill didn't rise alone. He stood on the shoulders of giants, men of vision, men of hunger, men who refused to accept average. That's the first principle of the mastermind. You become like the minds you align with. Your circle is your future. Your environment is your script. Sit long enough around small talk, and your dreams shrink to fit the room. Surround yourself with people who hesitate, and you'll inherit their hesitation. Your subconscious doesn't argue, it just absorbs. The voices you hear the most start sounding like your own, and over time they become your own. This is how average gets installed, not through failure, but through quiet, daily influence. Hill didn't invent the mastermind concept, he activated it. He wrote, "No mind is complete by itself. It needs contact and association with other minds to grow and expand." That's the trick, the secret sauce, the multiplier effect. It's not about company, it's about chemistry. When two aligned identities lock in, a third mind is born, an invisible intelligence greater than the sum of its parts. This is how legacies are built, together, on purpose, by alignment, not accident. You walk into a room and something happens. You either rise to match its energy or you shrink to survive in it. You're either being sharpened or slowly dulled. So ask yourself now, what rooms are you in? What rooms do you tolerate? Who is reinforcing your standard and who is silently pulling you back? Don't lie, don't justify. Call it what it is. because your future depends on your answer. You cannot elevate your life while tolerating low vibration energy. You cannot build a new identity in a room that still honors the old you. It's time to clean the frequency, delete the numbers, mute the voices, walk out of the circles that normalize delay, doubt, and dead conversations. Say this right now: I do not allow weak energy in my atmosphere. Say it again, because it's not a quote, it's your firewall. You become who you perform for. And whether you admit it or not, you perform for someone, always. So check this. Are you chasing validation from ghosts or accountability from giants? Are you trying to prove something to people who never moved, or aligning with people who never stopped? Your environment should elevate your standard, not explain away your excuses. You don't need fans. You need builders. People who push back, who correct your laziness, who don't clap until it's excellent. Carnegie had Schwab. Ford had Edison. Hill had Carnegie. You need to build your own circle, even if it's just one person, one voice. One aligned soul who doesn't flinch when you say, I'm becoming the greatest version of myself. If you don't have one, be one. Start there. Energy doesn't lie. You don't get what you want. You get what you are. So don't beg to be in better rooms. Become the person those rooms require. Then let the rooms find you. Here's how to align your environment with your future. Audit your circle. Who's in your ear daily? Cut the noise. Create space for greatness. Silence isn't empty. It's space for new belief. Speak your standard aloud. Say it so often your room echoes with it. Invite only aligned energy. If they don't match the identity, they don't stay. This isn't arrogance. It's alignment. Say this now. Let it become your environmental code. I am contagious with power. I infect my space with vision. I do not absorb weakness. I elevate every room I enter. Again, not a quote, not a wish, a declaration, a decision, a daily way of living. There's a secret that the rich know. It's not about getting more. It's about giving more. The key to transforming your identity isn't about what you receive. It's about what you give. Because you are never truly wealthy until you've given away everything you have. Napoleon Hill didn't just teach success. He taught the law of over-delivery. Ford didn't just create cars. He created the assembly line so that everyone who worked for him could create, so that even the lowest paid worker could live a life of value. Think about that. The richest men didn't just accumulate wealth, they distributed it. They over-delivered not just to customers, but to their employees. And in turn, the energy they gave multiplied. That's the law. The more you give, the more you become. You have to believe this. Your identity is not what you take, but what you give. How much of your time are you giving away? How much of your mind? How much of your attention? You are what you pour into the world. And if you're not pouring into the world won't pour back into you. Your business, your relationships, your network, they all function on the same law: give or receive nothing. Think of Andrew Carnegie. He didn't just lead with power, he led with purpose. He over-delivered with vision. He gave the world more than it expected. When you live by this principle, the universe conspires to give you more. It's a law of energy exchange. You get what you give, but multiplied. But it's not just about the quantity of your giving, it's about the quality. It's about not just doing the job, but doing it with soul. Do the little things better than anyone else. Make the calls no one else will make. Put in the hours no one else is willing to. Over-deliver, and you'll discover something. People start to look at you differently, and you'll look at yourself differently too. This is how the transformation happens. You start over-delivering, not because you have to, but because it becomes your identity. It becomes the standard you set for yourself. And the more you give, the more you become who you're meant to be. People don't remember mediocrity. They remember excellence. They remember the one who stayed late, who went the extra mile, who added value without expecting anything in return. You need to rewire your belief. I am someone who over-delivers. You want to be the one people count on? You want to be the one people trust to get the job done. Here's the secret. Exceed expectations. Not just sometimes, but all the time. Don't wait for praise. Be your own standard. When you hold yourself to the highest level, others will follow. Over-delivery doesn't mean overworking. It means making excellence your default. It means delivering on promises without needing applause. Here's how you can shift to this new identity. Focus on service, not profit. Don't wait for the world to reward you. Reward others first. Commit to over-delivering in every interaction. Make it your default mode. Make excellence the habit. Detach from the outcome. Don't give for applause. Give because it's who you are. Go beyond expectations. Do more than required. Be more than expected. Remember this: the world doesn't owe you anything, but you owe the world your best. Carnegie gave. Ford gave. Hill gave. Now it's your turn. The way you think about your work, your relationships, your life will change the moment you choose to over-deliver. Every day, speak this out loud. I exceed expectations because it's who I am. The more you say it, the more you live it. And the more you live it, the more you become it. You've been reprogramming your mind. You've been shifting your identity. But there's one final secret. It's not enough to know the truth. You must live the truth. And you must do it every day. This is where most people fail. They believe in the power of transformation, but they stop short of completing it. Today we finish what we started. Today you lock in your new identity, and you never go back. Napoleon Hill believed that success didn't come from a single decision, it came from repetition. It wasn't just about thinking big thoughts, it was about acting on those thoughts every single day. If you want to change your life, you need a ritual, not just once a day, but all day long. A ritual that aligns your actions with your new identity. The subconscious mind doesn't care what's true. It only cares about what you repeat. This is why people don't get results. They stop. They repeat their old habits, old patterns, and then wonder why they're stuck. Repetition is the secret of all transformation, and you can lock in this new identity by repeating your affirmations, your actions, your decisions, over and over again, day in and day out. The most successful people know this. Success isn't just a thought, it's a decision backed by faith in action. You cannot create without believing it's already done. You cannot achieve if you don't have the belief that you already are who you want to be. The action comes from the belief, and the belief comes from the action. You don't wait for proof before you act. You act because you know it's already yours. Now here's the critical step. Act like it's already yours. Walk like you've already reached the top. Move with the certainty that the universe has already delivered your success. Because once you believe it's done, the world will shift around you. This is why the most successful men and women, they walk with authority, they speak with conviction, they act with a belief that they are untouchable. When you live in this state, you become unstoppable. Here's how you lock in this new identity. Repeat your affirmations daily. Don't just say them. Feel them. Own them as your truth. Take action as if it's already done. Show up every day like you're already the person you want to be. Trust in the process. Believe that every action you take is a step closer to your goal. Don't wait for the world to tell you when you're ready. You're ready now. Commit to never going back. The old you is gone. The new you is here to stay, and you're going to build your empire. This is the lock-in moment. This is the turning point where everything shifts. You've laid the groundwork. Now you take the actions that seal your fate. Every action you take from here on out must align with the new you. There is no turning back. You cannot go back to the person you were, because you're not that person anymore. You've just unlocked the key to your greatness. You've just shifted your identity to match your desires, and now you're ready to dominate. I act like it's done. I walk like it's already mine. You'll repeat this affirmation until your mind has no choice but to believe it, until you live it, until the world starts to reflect who you've become. I act with confidence. I walk with power. I am already who I'm becoming. I dominate. Say it out loud and move like it's done. The world will wonder what changed, but you don't owe them an answer. You are the answer. This is your final step. Take it now and never look back.